day. Suicide of love took away all that matters and buried the remains in an unmarked grave in your heart. With the venomous kiss you gave me, I'm killing loneliness. With the warmth of your arms you saved me. Oh, I'm killing loneliness with you. The killing loneliness that turned my heart into a tomb. I'm killing loneliness. Nailed to a cross together as solitude begs us to stay. We disappear in the light forever and denounce the power of death over our souls as secret words are said to start a war. With the venomous kiss you gave me, I'm killing loneliness. With the warmth of your arms you saved me. Oh, I'm killing loneliness with you. The killing loneliness that turned my heart into a tomb. I'm killing loneliness. I'm killing loneliness. That turned my heart into a tomb. I'm killing loneliness. I'm killing loneliness with you. I'm killing loneliness with you.
Hi, this is Dr. Gary. Welcome to the Daily Tune-Up today. Many of us, as we move through our life, we find ourselves kind of lonely. You know, like we're all by ourselves. And I want to talk about that a little bit today and what we can do about that and what's really going on there. We're really not alone. There's 6.2 billion people here on this earth, and a lot of times we go to a social event and there's hundreds of people around us. However, we feel alone. We can be married for 23, 24, 30 years, 50 years, sometimes still feel alone. Or we can have this huge family with all this energy around us and somehow still feel alone. So what's that all about? Well, really what it's about is a unsettling within ourselves sometimes of not really knowing who we are, not being comfortable with ourselves, having to have those distractions around us, so we're distracted away from our loneliness. And we feel that if we're by ourselves, our mind starts thinking about our life and where we are in our life, and there's a dissatisfaction in that, not an acceptance of it. So therefore, loneliness somewhat sets in when we feel like we're all alone in the world, no one cares, no one loves us, we're not mattering to anything, to anyone, and that's really not true. You see, the answer to all of this is, as I mentioned yesterday, get back in this moment here, right now, where we live life. And there's a decision to be made. And it's really as simple as that, as making a decision that even though you may feel alone, you can change that. And the first thing you change is not getting more friends, not acquiring more things. You learn how to be still and be still within yourself. And listen to those things that your mind is talking about, because it's not really terror or trauma. It's just a loaning to learn who you are and an acceptance from yourself to yourself. Many times loneliness has a lot to do with us not accepting who we are, or being dissatisfied with how we've turned out, or what we do, or what our career is, and thinking we could have done more but we didn't, and how come we didn't? Because we're not worth it and we're not smart enough. That creates loneliness, that negative self-talk. I want all of us to really take a look, as I mentioned in the tune-up yesterday, what we are, who we are, and what we're good at. You know, many of us are good at a lot of things, but we're really good at one thing. Find out what that thing is and build upon it. Also, if you're one of those people today feel kind of alone and beaten up from the economy, from the last 3 years of what's going on in this country, well, you're not alone. There's a lot of us. However, this is your life, this is your situation, and this is your predicament. Honor that and quit beating yourself up because you're in this predicament, and then use today and the potential you have today to start pulling yourself through it and out of it. It's not always about money, and it's not always about getting a job. The better you feel about yourself, the more potential you will create for yourself. Did you hear that? The more you forgive yourself and accept yourself, the more potential you create for yourself. Because you're wasting a lot of negative energy, loathing, feeling lonely, and not feeling good enough. You're good enough. Today, let's stretch a little bit. Let's be a little uncomfortable and stand where it's uncomfortable and learn how to just null that out so you don't notice it anymore, and then move forward one moment at a time and really accept yourself, forgive yourself, and decide, using that word decide, that you're going to change it. Until tomorrow, this is Dr. Gary, wishing you an extraordinary day with yourself. Bye-bye.
When I was a new Christian, I was suffering. You say, what were you suffering? I had a friend, Craig. Craig had a family. I had a friend, Rod. Rod had a family. We were pretty tight. I didn't have a family. I would see them with their families, with their wives, with their children. I would drive home alone. Loneliness is a severe trial. You say, how were you helped? Jesus visited me in those years of my life in ways I don't experience now. Oh, I experienced them, but not like I did then. He came to me. His presence was so sweet, it turned my darkness into light. My sister-in-law, Maida, she was suffering cancer, going through chemotherapy. Bitter trial. She was like on a 2-week rotation of chemo. And at that period where she would be most pressed by that chemo treatment, most weak, most suffering, Jesus would come to her. And she actually wept when she was healed because those seasons would not come anymore. Brethren, that's one of the ways He helps. He comes and He visits His people. I told you this story before, Scottish Covenanters. One of these guys was so mutilated the dragoons came in and they dealt like 8 mortal blows to him. They took his broken body and they just threw it on the dungeon floor. And as he laid there, his body broken, he said, I don't know if I can withstand this any longer. And those bystanders thought he was talking about his wounds. He said, the presence of Christ is so overwhelming to me right now, I don't know if I can handle anymore. Brethren, one of the ways that Christ helps us is He visits us. The last thing you ever want to do in the midst of your suffering is turn away from your times in prayer and your times in the Word. Because that is so often right where He comes to us, right? Oh, it was in my seasons when I would go out in those early days and loneliness felt at times like it would crush me. But I would go out in the fields and I would pray, and it was there praying. There were times when I would walk and I could feel His presence at my side. I could have reached over and touched Him. And brethren, there's times when He takes the pain of the suffering out. You may know this story. There was a time when Spurgeon, he was suffering the pain of gout, and it was so overwhelming, he had asked the people in the room to leave. And he just cried out. You could just hear it, almost like Jesus there out on the wilderness, just pleading with cries and tears. And Spurgeon there with crying and tears says, please. And God took the pain away. No doubt, not all of it, and not forever. But He took it away right there when asked.